Okay, what kind of problem is number 2?
Foil.
Foil. There are 25 questions on the test, which means each one is worth 4%.
4 points.
I will give partial credit on at least some of them, I will. Unless you get it completely wrong.
So do you need nothing
Okay.
more than that?
Huh?
Do you do nothing more than that?
Nothing else you can do. How do we do number 3? Yeah, 2x gets distributed on all these, multiplied on all these, and then the -1 also.
And then add them together.
Add like terms at the end. 2x times 3x squared,
6x.
6x cubed, you add the x's together. 2x times 2x,
4x.
2x times -4. And then, so that's all the 2x multiplying. And then the -1, when you multiply by -1, it just becomes -3x squared. Minus 2x and plus 4.
And you can't do anything here.
Next one is factoring. Next section. Yeah.
So is there about 3 bimetallic questions? Is there 3 bimetallic questions and
Yeah. I might have to skip one of these for time, but we'll try to get as many as we can.
I'll do 25.
I'm gonna try.
Wait, so what were the type of problems that we just did?
We just did bimetallic.
Alright, number 4, we did not do very well on the quiz on this one. How do we factor number 4? You guys remember what I called it?
Square root.
Square minus the square. What goes into 25x squared? 5x and 5x. What goes into negative 16?
Positive 4 and negative 4.
Is that it?
No, you're right. -4 and +4.
If it would, no, I don't. This is it. If this was an equation, like equal to 0, x would equal positive 4/5 and negative 4/5. But it's not an equation, so x could equal anything. So we're just going to leave it factored like the directions say. How about 5? The 5 is kind of the standard one, right? It's 3-term factoring. What goes into x squared? What goes into 6? That also adds up to negative 5. 3 and 2. And to get them to add up to negative 5, they both need to be negative. Yeah. So x minus 3, x minus 2. How about 6? Any ideas on that one?
5a plus 5, a minus 2.
Okay, there's something you should do first.
We
You
can-
can.
Oh, we can do
Take a 5 out. Remember how to take stuff out? Just put it in front of the parentheses. What's left after I divide all these by 5?
A squared minus a minus 5,
10 divided by 5. So if I distributed the 5 back out, it should turn back into that. We don't want to do that. And guess what? The parentheses probably going to factor again, right? What goes into a squared? What goes into negative 2, multiplies into negative 2, that adds up to negative 1.
Negative 2 plus 1.
When we were doing equations, you could divide both sides of the equation by 5 and just get rid of the 5. But since this is not an equation, you can't throw it away. Okay, can I take anything out of number 7?
No.
What goes into 9x squared?
3 and 3.
3x and 3x. What goes into 4? 1 and 4 or 2 and 2? Okay, remember how we check these when there's a number on the front? Outside, 6x. Inside, 6x. Is that what we got? What we wanted? Yes, because they add up to 12x. If it doesn't work, you gotta try different numbers like 4 and 1, or maybe switch the order. Whatever works. Okay, next section is called Simplify. So where a good calculator can help a lot on this section. Great. These are kind of smaller, so I'm gonna put them on both sides here. I can squeeze 13 in over here. You guys remember how to do 8 without a calculator?
No, you do tractor tree,
The tree.
so you can do 5 times 10, and then
Okay.
out of 10 it's 5 and 2.
If you don't feel completely confident though, you need to use a calculator, might as well. On 9, you can divide those, or like reduce those at first, but you probably don't want to, because what's the square root of 16? 4. Square root of 60, 60 is like 4 times 15, so it becomes 2 square root of 15. 15 doesn't have any doubles in it, so stays 15. And then the 2 and the 4 reduce. So it's square root of 15 over 2. On number 10, what do we need to do on that kind of problem? Combine like terms. So it's 5 plus 7 minus 4 is 8. And 8i minus 3i is positive 5i. What kind of problem is number 11? Distributive. It's kind of like number 1. There is a difference between this and number 1 though. So 2i times negative 4 is negative 8i. And 2i times minus 5i is minus 10i squared. But what happens with an I squared?
Negative 1.
Becomes negative 1. Negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. Also, yeah, the real number is supposed to go in front on the complex numbers. So, yeah, 10 minus 8i. Again, the white calculators can handle that, so if you're not good at it, probably better borrow. I don't know if white calculators can do 13. You guys can try. Anybody try yet?
Are you able to? Didn't it just go back to 9?
Huh? Have you tried 13 yet?
No, 'cause I don't know how to put the I in.
Not the button you're hitting. No, this is probably not those.
Is there a button?
Yeah, save 1.5 on it.
Is it turned to like a normal of 1?
Well, this equals 5 cubed times I cubed. It's like 5i times 5i times 5i. It's 5 times 5 times 5i times I times I. Yeah, you might not remember what I cubed is, but I cubed is basically I squared times I. And what's I squared?
Negative 1.
So it's just negative 1i. So it's negative 125i. What kind of problem is 12? I skipped it.
Well,
Foil. So first, outside, inside, last. It's kind of, you can think of it as distributive property if you want to, but 5 times negative 4, 5 times 2i, negative 8i times negative 4, negative 8i times 2i, this is the part that tricks people, negative 16 I squared. And what does I squared do?
negative 1.
Negative 1, so it becomes, really just becomes a positive 16. Because negative 16 times negative 1. So on the real numbers we have negative 20 plus 16.
Negative 4.
And then on the imaginary we have 10i plus 32i.
So if we can get the, that I squared equals -1, and just write negative 20 plus 42i plus 16i squared, how many ones would you take?
If you did what instead? Million bajillion, I think is the correct answer. I'd look in the corner, see it was your paper, and then be like, oh, that's minus all the points. That's usually how I grade. Okay. Now, this part usually annoys me when I have to grade this part. Remember from years past. So the directions say solve by taking roots. What does it mean to take roots? Like square root both sides, that's what it means.
What kind of problem is this?
Solve by taking roots. Okay, we're about to find out why grading these bug me so much. What do we do on 14? Take the square root like they told us. What's the answer?
X equals 7.
Okay, this is why I get annoyed. Because if you put that,
Plus or minus.
and I take, yeah, and if you get that one wrong, you're probably gonna get all three of them. Plus or minus. How many times have we gone over plus or minus this year? A bunch. But we still forget it. Anyway, don't forget the plus or minus when you do the square root trick. Alright, what should I do on 15? Yeah, you want to get that squared x by itself first, and you can do that by dividing by 6. So we got x squared is negative 3. Then what do I do? Square root. Square root. X equals
Plus or minus square root of -3.
square root of negative 3. I squared of 3. Huh? You don't want to put it back here because it looks like it's under the square root. So in this case, the I should go in front. What should we do first on 16?
And the 5.
Add the 5 over. These aren't like the factoring or quadratic formula problems because there's no x term, there's just an x squared term. So you can just get x squared by itself. And then guess what? Square root. Okay, square root of 45 simplifies. Yeah, 45 is 9 times 5. So it's, oh boy, 3 square root of 5. Alright, are we going to remember to put plus or minus tomorrow?
Speed that.
Okay. What number are we in? 17? The next section is quadratic formula. I think I'll only do a couple of these. Let's do the harder ones, I guess. Hopefully one of these comes out imaginary just so we can practice it, I guess. Does that factor? I'm going to make one that does factor. Let's try that. I think that one does factor. Don't factor it though, just use quadratic formula.
No, we're doing
Quadratic formula. Okay, by the way, I didn't write it on the board. Guys, one of the questions is write the quadratic formula. Okay? This will not be up there on the board. assuming I remember. I probably will eventually. Maybe I should just erase it right now. There, it's bye-bye. All right. This one's kind of it's naughty. All right, there we go. What should be done first on 17? Okay, a lot of you that got this wrong on the quiz did not put it in the correct order. The order is the x squared term first, and then the x term, and then the constant. And that's your A, B, and C. So, negative b squared minus 4ac. So, on the test, if you do get the quadratic formula wrong, I'll grade it. If you tell me when you're done with it, and so you can fix it and then use it on these questions. So you don't get these questions wrong. Times 2a. Oh gosh, what a mess. What is that? 240 plus 40. Huh?
292 is what
What's the square root of 292?
Two squared is 73.
So are you supposed to do that right after? So like you should do all of that math in the middle of it and then square root it?
Well, it's all under the square root. Yeah, everything under there you do and then you square root it. Yes.
Okay, I didn't, but you're supposed to bring it down and then square root it with the other step.
What else can I do on this one? Yeah, all three of these terms are divisible by 2. And it has to be all three of them for it to work like this. So if you divide them all by 2, you get 1 plus or minus 1 squared of 73 is just 73. So square root of 73.
You guys put that 1 out there?
Huh?
You guys have that 1 out there or no?
Yes, you definitely do. Yep. All right, are we good on that one?
Don't the C values sometimes just go away?
Huh?
Well, if you add them, no, I'm not
Oh,
ready.
18. Yeah,
So
they
this
do.
is a 0?
Yeah. So, what do you guys think we should do first on 18? We're gonna move everything to the left, because you could move it to the right, but, let's move it to the left. So I'm gonna add 3x squared. There we go.
How bad was it?
Here's a question. Yep.
Okay, it's about.
Yep. So that's what I got when I added everything to the left. What's my A, B, and C here? What's my
0, negative.
4, negative 4,
4 is
1,
0,
zero.
negative 25.
Okay, why is there a 0 right there?
You still need.
There's no x term, so there's like an invisible 0x in there. There's no x term. Notice we only have 2 terms, so there's 0 of those. Anyway, there's my a, b, and c. So negative b would be negative 0, which is just 0. I think the square root just comes out as 20, doesn't it? So it's plus or minus 20 over 8. The 0 out here doesn't really do anything.
Can you reduce that? Plus or 5 over 2?
Yeah, those are both divisible by 4, so it'd be 5 over 2. Are we going to get the quadratic formulas right? Yeah.
It's the only one that's true.
There's actually 4 of them on the test. Let me get 2 of them. There's 4 of them, yeah. Oh, there is the discriminant on the test, isn't it? I forgot about that. Well, if you forget, here's the thing. If you forget the discriminant, you can just go ahead and solve it completely. Because the question is, find the discriminant, state the number of rational, irrational, imaginary solutions. Okay, if you forgot that this is the discriminant, you can just solve the whole thing normally and find out what kind of solutions you have. Okay, but to answer that question, you really only need to use this. Remember this was in the quadratic formula under the square root. If it comes out positive and it actually has a square root, that means you're going to get normal answers. So it's 2 rationals.
What are, I forgot 0, there's like 4 things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying right now.
Are we going to have that on the test?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Okay, if it comes out positive and there's no square root, that means you'll have 2 irrationals. Irrational just means weird square root answers. If it comes out negative, what kind of answers will you have?
1 rational.
2 complex. Because if it's negative under the square root, it's imaginary. So you have 2 complex answers. If it comes out as 0, you get, that means 1 real solution. Okay, like I said, if you don't remember that, you can just solve it normally and then say, this is what kind of answers there are. Let's just do one of those, probably.
0 is too complex.
Hmm?
Is 0 too complex?
1 rational.
Yeah, if it comes out as 0, there's 1 rational answer.
Is the
Probably should have wrote that on the board at one point.
If it's negative, it's too complex.
What number are we on?
B squared minus 4.
Do you find all any discriminants?
No, no.
You just bring it down.
Okay, so minus the 2x on this one, right? We got 2x squared plus 3x minus 7. So that's your a, b, and c. So b squared minus 4ac. It'd be, what is it, 9 plus 56.
65.
Okay, it's positive, does it have a square root?
No.
No, that means your answer is gonna be like plus or minus square 65. So that's two irrational solutions. In the directions, they list the options.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
Because, did you hear me read the directions? It says, find the discriminant, state the number of rational, irrational, and imaginary. Actually, they put imaginary instead of complex.
Yeah.
It's kind of interchangeable. Those two things kind of mean similar things.
Section multiple choice.
No,
I don't think any of it is.
No, it is.
no, of course not. Math test.
The only time we ever have that is
You know,
when
one
there's
thing
like
at least.
multiple definitions.
There's almost never multiple choice on
And
math.
then geometry last year. Yeah, there was a lot of words.
Do we
Okay.
get a work thing?
No.
Last two. So on this one, it's solve and graph. What's different about 20?
Inequality.
Right.
Less than or equal to.
So this is last Thursday. Yeah, it's a less than problem. This is last Thursday's assignment.
So it's not.
Okay, you start by solving it normally as if it was an equals problem. This one factors, or if you're not good at factoring, guess what? Quadratic form. You guys know how this factors?
You do x on both sides and then just 4.
-4 plus 2. Those multiply to -8, and they add up to -2. Okay, if it was an equals, if it was an equation, what would the two answers have been? Okay, but since it's a less than problem, how do we set it up? In the middle. X is in the middle, yes. So it's -2, the small one first, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 4. If you can give me the 4 -2, I'll give you like half credit. Get the rest of the way for full credit. And how do I graph that? I wasn't very that picky on the graphs. You can just put those two numbers and we don't need a full graph here. Well, you're fired.
That all we
Never hired.
So on the
Just
quadrant,
because it rhymes doesn't mean it's a pun.
Who said it was a pun, right? I wasn't ever hired.
He's just making a statement.
Yeah,
isn't
if I
it
was
greater
hired,
than,
I'd have to
wait,
assume
isn't
some-
it greater than that, the smallest one, x equals smaller than the bigger one?
The limit is gone, Will.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I gotta think of one real fast. Yeah, how do we set up the grade? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one really quick just to make sure we get it done. Think if we put a +3 and a -10, no, it doesn't work.
If you put remove the 2 from the front of the equation, it'll factor.
What did I put here, 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you take the 2 off the x squared.
I'll just make this work, that's fine. Let's do that. Okay, anyway, so what are the two numbers that would work for this?
-3 over 2.
Right. Again, if you're not good at factoring, you can still use quadratic formula, just can't screw it up. -3 over 2 and 2. Okay, how do we set up greater than problems?
X is less than the smallest.
Smaller than the small one, bigger than the big, or bigger than the big one. So x is less than -3 over 2 or greater than 2. Less than, greater than. And we're all gonna ace this tomorrow.
Never.
rational is like normal answers. Irrational is like square answers.
Yeah, I grouped up.
I'll be nice because I told you wrong on the b squared minus 4ac not being on there.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it wasn't there. It's not even there. And that's all behind me.
What numbers did?
Yeah, still recording.